All right, so let's go on now to our first topic. As I mentioned at the top of the program, the fallout from the federal district court decision stopping the FDA's approval of chemical abortion drugs literally has House Democrats in overdrive. They are committed to keeping these harmful drugs on the market, and even the Biden administration themselves are scrambling for clarity on this whole issue. But one thing has become evident through this entire process is how literally ill-informed so much of the public and perhaps even the media is on the dangers that these drugs present to the women who take them. So how should Congress respond? Well, joining me now to discuss this is U.S. Representative Andy Harris. He's a member of the House Appropriations Committee. He's also co-chair of the House Pro-Life Caucus, and he's a member of the GOP Doctors Caucus. He represents Maryland's 1st Congressional District. Dr. Harris, welcome back to Washington Watch. Always great to see you.
Good to be with you, Jody.
Well, listen, let's begin just with the simple. You're a doctor, a well-known doctor for that matter. Give me your thoughts on the court's rulings.
Well, the court got it right. I mean, the FDA cut corners to politically approve the drug. And even though it's been out there for decades, it doesn't make a difference. The FDA cut corners. There's strict rules in how you're supposed to test the drug before you market it. It's been marketed to teenagers and children when clearly it was not studied in that group. So, look, we have all the laws in place we need. The FDA didn't follow the law in this approval, and the district court got it right.
Well, you know, that is the issue. That is one of the major issues in this whole argument right now that's been totally ignored. Many on the left are saying this judge just went rogue. He's ignoring the science. But you followed the science, and this drug was not properly approved 20 years ago. And that was the issue that this particular judge recognized. And yet some on the left are saying that this whole ruling should be ignored altogether. I'm sure you probably have seen this by now, but Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is among those who are saying that. I wanted to play this quick clip and get your reactions to it.
I believe that the Biden administration should ignore this ruling. The interesting thing when it comes to a ruling is that it relies on enforcement, and it is up to the Biden administration to choose whether or not to enforce such a ruling.
Amazing that we have a member of Congress calling for a judicial federal decision to be ignored. Your reaction?
Look, these are the same people who declare that they are the protectors of democracy. I'm sorry, democracy in this country includes 3 branches of government. It includes a judicial branch. When the judicial branch makes a decision, you either appeal to the decision to success or you follow the ruling. That's the way democracy works. So the same individuals who are saying that, again, somehow Republicans are the enemies of democracy in this country, now call for a complete breakdown in the democratic system in the United States, which involves 3 branches of government with the judicial branch. And I beg to differ with my colleague. The executive branch is supposed to follow the authority of the legislative branch and the judicial branch.
Yeah, great point. And this is this is one of the things that's so disturbing about all of this. There's another clip, Congressman, that I wanted to get your reaction to as well. This one's by HHS Secretary Becerra on CNN State of the Union this past Sunday. But I'd like to play this and get your reaction to his comments as well.
This is not America. What you saw by that one judge in that one court in that one state, that's not America. America goes by the evidence. America does what's fair. America does what is transparent, and we can show that what we do is for the right reasons. That's not America.
So it's not America for a judge to make a decision based upon how this drug really illegally was brought forth 20 years ago. Quickly, your reaction, then I want to move on.
Look, shame on the secretary. He's in charge of the FDA. The bottom line is that the FDA clearly cut corners here. There was no full transparency. I don't know what he means about fairness. Look, we have laws in place. This is not America. This is exactly how America works. We put laws in place. The FDA is supposed to follow them. They shortchanged them here, and the judicial branch caught up with them.
Yeah, and that's why we have 3 equal branches. I mean, this drug was not properly approved, and it's the proper way to say, hold back. Let's wait a minute. Let's get this thing right. All right, now, you have been aware of the dangers of this drug for probably decades, haven't you?
Yeah, look, this is not a Tylenol. This is not a ibuprofen. This is this is a serious drug. It's a serious hormone. It absolutely is. That's why it's not over the counter. It's only available by prescription. It actually was available only in person because of some of the side effects until, again, the FDA reversed that decision based on, I believe, based on politics. This drug should only be given in a physician's office if it's going to be given, because you have to actually accurately date the pregnancy in order for it to be given without serious side effects.
Well, you hit on something, and I just want to underscore it before we move on to another topic. But you indicated that this is politically driven, in your opinion. So, does the FDA's behavior now fit really what appears to be a pattern of government agencies following a political agenda rather than following the science?
Well, it's certainly from Secretary Becerra's comments, it certainly seems that's what we have now. Look, if the Congress wants to change the laws and make all the drug laws more lax, make them all of it, these dangerous type drugs available without adequate studies, okay, we should consider that. But we have good laws in place. I believe that we should do rigorous studies of drugs that are prescription drugs. This one was not submitted to rigorous study.
Well, and unfortunately, I believe there's so much credibility has been lost and is continuing to be lost. I mean, you have the performance of the CDC, for example, during all the COVID stuff, the weaponization of the Department of Justice with the FBI, and now we have the FDA doing these shenanigans, if you will, in a drug that is harmful to many, many people who take it. Like you said, it's almost they're treating it like ibuprofen. At some point, if not already, people are going to lose trust in our federal agencies, and that's very difficult to restore.
I believe that. I believe that we are losing trust in our federal health agencies. Another example of the FDA is approving the COVID vaccine, the mRNA vaccine, for 6-month-olds. Clearly an experimental drug, clearly not a large number of patients studied before they approved it for no apparent good reason.
Great example. Another example there. All right, if we can, Congressman, let's switch gears real quickly. Yesterday, President Biden signed a congressional resolution to end the U.S. national emergency to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic. Why do you think it's literally taken an act of Congress to get the president to do this?
Well, look, the reason is pretty clear, Jody. The president was spending tens of billions of dollars every month on the COVID, I put in air quotes, emergency throughout all the agencies in government. And he knew that those dollars couldn't be spent if you ended the emergency. So he resisted ending the emergency. But if you go out on the streets and you go to talk to people, look, this emergency is over. People want to return to their normal pre-COVID lives. And this is an example of where they did it just so they could spend tens of billions of taxpayer dollars.
Well, and it's kind of somewhat comical or humorous, if you will, or maybe that's not even the right description at all. Perhaps a little fishy that the actual signing of this took place behind closed doors, and it was only made known from the White House with just like a one-line statement that the president signed this, and kind of into discussion. I wonder your thoughts. Could it be that the president is remorseful, perhaps upset that he's losing some emergency pandemic powers?
Oh, he absolutely is. When this bill was considered in the beginning of February, the administration wrote a note to the Congress saying that the president opposes this lifting of the emergency. And look, you would think that the lifting of this emergency would be a cause for national celebration, that the president would be signing it on the National Mall, no masks, no separation from people anymore, businesses open. No, this president wanted an emergency to continue because, again, they can spend tens of billions of dollars, and more importantly, they can continue to control your lives.
Congressman Andy Harris, thank you so much for joining us this evening on Washington Watch. Good to see you.
Thank you, Jody.